This is the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. We have assembled the world's finest sports and trivia dorks to prove once and for all that we are just as bad at this as we were at sports. Hello, listeners. This is the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast, sports trivia for those of us who rode the pine. Welcome to episode 263. Yes, I am not your host, Matt. Today's game will be pitting two Benchwarmer teams against each other with a guest host. So let's go ahead and say hi to our Benchwarmer teams first. And Marcus has his finger up, and it means he wants to be the first to go. So hi, Marcus. How are you tonight?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I went to two WNBA games last week, which was awesome. And just to give you guys a little insight, I get why some of the vets are a little salty at Caitlin Clark, because when her name got announced, you would have thought that she was a Hall of Famer, the reception that she got in Seattle and the amount of Clark jerseys in the crowd. It was nuts. So I kind of get it. Golf claps for everybody else. Caitlin Clark, just place went nuts. But then Jewel Lloyd dropped 23 in the first half and showed her what's up. So anyways, big WNBA week for me. So it's been fun.
Sounds good. Since I'm on our team, I don't really have anything going on. I'm still currently unemployed. Life is fantastic for me. So, yeah. Marcus, you have your team name?
Yeah. Well, there's a disturbing trend lately that our lovely country of ours is terrible at sports. And off of last night's debacle, our team name is going to be NOPA America.
Yeah, that's right. I watched a little bit of the game. I didn't watch the whole thing, but it sounds like there was some horrible officiating and just generally bad play.
Are you supposed to show a yellow card and then let the play continue? I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, and then the one with the handball, where there was a handball that was clearly a handball, and then the guy had the ball. He was going down the side of the pitch and just stop
good
it
stuff.
40 seconds later, something like that, or whatever.
Also, we're bad.
That too. Yes. Okay, so the other team we have is Scott and Taco. So, Scott, why don't you go ahead and start us off?
I ref a lot of soccer games that are 6-year-olds against 6-year-olds, and I don't understand the rules. So I just let them do whatever they want. So it sounds like my officiating is very similar.
You don't understand the rules and you're the official, huh? Okay.
Yeah. They're like handball. I'm like, all right, cool. And then they're like, this type of card and this colored card. And I'm like, I know yellow card because they sing Ocean Avenue. I know nothing else, right? So I'm just like, all right, cool. So when you guys were speaking, I was like, man, now I see how those 6-year-olds feel when they're always chastising me for all of my terrible calls, because I don't even know what side out means. So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. I'm good. I don't know how I feel about our host. I'm not going to reveal who he is yet, but let me just say this. I'm his kryptonite when he plays, and he can't beat me. So I feel like he might take that out on me on the questions, but I guess we'll see. But yeah, I'm excited. It's always nice when a guest host, so we'll see how it goes.
And Taco?
I'm fine. I also have youth soccer refereeing experience as yard duty at recess, and I will give straight red cards and just kick kids out if they argue with me. So just really throwing my weight around there at recess, because, it's a 15-minute game for fun at recess, and you don't get anything if you win. So stop complaining. Our team name this evening is a little bit of a shout out to another San Francisco Giants legend who passed away recently. Scott and I last teamed up. We were the Say Hey Kids for Willie Mays. And then 10 days later, Orlando Cepeda passed away. His nickname was the Baby Bull. Also, this is a chain of lovely Mexican restaurants up and down California, and the inaugural winner of the WLC match. So our team name will be El Torito.
El Torito. All right, so we have El Torito versus NOPA America. All right, and our guest host for this evening, I don't even know, I'm having completely spacing now on what your title is on
Assistant
Patreon.
Coach.
Assistant Coach on our Patreon team is Josh Snyder. And Snyder, you've been on a lot lately, so that's fine. So you're becoming essentially like, one of us. We're slowly, bringing you into the cult. So, yeah. So, Josh, how are you doing? Why don't you go ahead and remind people, if they hadn't listened to any of the last 14 episodes that you've been on, about who you are and all that business.
Thanks, Matt. Hey, I'm Josh Snyder. I was on, I guess this might be last week's episode when this one drops. So just hung around in the virtual studio for the last, week and was just, lounging. Figured if I hang around, maybe you won't kick me out and I'll just get to host the next episode. That's how it works, right? So I originally from Philadelphia, live in Baltimore, and I'm a Orioles, 76ers, and Seahawks fan. And yeah, happy to be back and throwing a little bit of chaos into the mix with some questions tonight. So looking forward to it with you guys. And hey, Scott, I don't know about the kryptonite. What I decided is I'm going to embrace it. So I got that L Train shirt, that sweet shirt, heading my way. I'm just going to wear that next time and just lean into it, right?
I just keep beating you so you buy my merch, because every time you buy a shirt, I get absolutely nothing. So yeah, no, it's great for me too.
We haven't talked about this in probably a long time, but hey, everyone, we have a merch store over on TeePublic. So
yeah, you can get a T-shirt with my face on. I don't know why you would do that, but if I ever go somewhere and I see someone wearing a T-shirt with my face on it, you automatically go on my makeout list.
You can get a T-shirt with Marcus's face on it too. He's got the Daddy Alaska shirt. So
yeah, I have that, but I don't wear it as a T-shirt.
As a nightie, what did you get, a 5X? Just Donald ducking it.
So wait, we just had an episode the other day of Scott Grimes' punch list. Right now we're gonna have an episode title that's something about Scott Grimes' nightie. Is that what it's gonna be?
No.
Oh boy.
All right, so we have a host. We got two teams. Let's go ahead and throw it over to emeritus benchwarmer Dan for the rules.
The game will consist of 4 quarters of play, each with different trivia style. The styles of quarters 1 through 3 will change from show to show, and I will explain them as we go along. Like any good sporting event, we will have a halftime show after the second quarter with entertainment questions. And in the fourth quarter, our teams will wager from their points accumulated to see who are today's clipboard captains, to be honored like the true benchwarmers they are. All right, let's get this game underway.
Thanks, Dan. Let's go ahead and hand it over to Josh now. Go ahead and kick it off there, friend.
All right. So like last time, I decided to flip the script a little with you guys in terms of the usual quarter styles. So the first two, at least till halftime, will be a little bit upside down from what they usually are. So the first quarter will be Goliath versus David.
David versus Goliath. This quarter will consist of 3 pairs of questions, 1 easier, David, and 1 harder, Goliath. After hearing both questions, the teams will pick one of the 2 questions to answer, either David or Goliath. Each David question is worth 25 points, and each Goliath question is worth 50 points.
Okay, so here's the thing. Goliath was like a big dumb guy who was just standing there flexing. David was like a wily little dude who managed to kill him with a stone. So shouldn't David's be more points than Goliath's? So all you're going to have to do in this round is give me the nickname of a college sports team. Like for Duke, it would be the Blue Devils. Goliaths are the big dumb FBS teams, all of whom in this round were in this past year's NCAA men's basketball tournament, and they are less points. The Davids are the wily little guys. They're all FCS teams, more points. And not only FCS teams, but ones whose men's basketball teams have never made the NCAA tournament. For example, Goliath would be Mississippi State, which is
Bulldogs.
There we go. And a David might be UT Martin, which is?
No, I'm not T. Martin.
You're not T. Martin?
Me, T. Martin.
Me, T. Martin.
Where's my episode title sticky note?
Yeah. He looks like Bam Bam, but it's T. Martin.
Okay, well, I was gonna say it's the Crickets, but we got all those. But it's actually the Skyhawks, UT Martin. Anyway, that was kind of one of the harder ones. So to review, Goliath, less points. David, more points. You can't blame Lux this time. He did not review this game. You can blame it on Eid. So,
oh yeah, so this whole game will be chaos because that's all that Eid likes. Yeah. Okay.
Without further ado,
check in Cheryl Swoops.
Oh, I'm sorry, it was Scoops.
No.
Question number 1, Goliath, Akron, David, Youngstown State.
Josh, we'll check in.
All right, El Torito has checked in. Nopa America, talk it out.
I think you're right, Marcus. I'm pretty sure. So I put the zips for Akron right off the bat, and so I got that one. Yay! But then Marcus said the Penguins for Youngstown State.
I'm like fairly positive.
Yeah, I'm like 90% sure that you're right.
Yeah.
So
the Jim Tressel. Well, right after Ohio State, the Jim Tressel led Youngstown State Penguins. So we'll check in with the David of Youngstown State Penguins.
All right, El Torito, what did you have?
Yeah, Scott had the zips pretty quickly, and then I'm pretty sure, yeah, it is the Youngstown State Penguins. If I'm remembering it correctly, they have a pretty cute little like mascot logo thing of like a little penguin with a little scarf, and he looks kind of grumpy, but like only in the way that penguins can only look a certain amount of grumpy. They're mostly just cute. So yeah, we also checked in with the David of the Youngstown State Penguins.
All right. Both teams are getting points. Yeah, these are two of the silliest mascots. The Zip is apparently a kangaroo. And Taco, as you said, Youngstown State's mascot, it kind of looks like Chili Willy. Yeah, back in the old days.
Yes.
All right. Question number 2. Goliath, UAB, that's University of Alabama at Birmingham, and David, Presbyterian.
We'll check in.
All right. El Torito checked in again. Nopa America. Feel free to talk it out.
Well, to get this out of the way, the reason you thought that the Blazers or the UABs are the Dragons is because they have a dragon logo.
Yeah.
But it's the UAB Blazers.
That's right, because I always saw, because, they have a college hockey team. I always thought that was the craziest thing, and their logo was like a little dragon. And I thought, well, they're the Dragons, right? So, yeah. But I think Presbyterian, because who is it? Now, who is it that has the blue blob? Not Xavier. Is it Xavier?
Yeah, we had the question on it, like a blue, like Cookie Monster thing. Yeah,
yep,
it was
exactly.
Xavier.
But for some reason, when the other guy got me kind of down a rabbit hole, and I think Presbyterian might be like the Scots or the Scotsmans or the something to do with that. Does that sound familiar?
No, I just don't have this. It's not anywhere in there.
Okay. Well, no, that's a guess for me. So then let's go with the Blazers then.
Yeah, let's take the points. So we'll check in with the Goliath of the UAB Blazers.
All right. El Torito, what do you have?
Yep, UAB is the Blazers. But then as I was thinking about Presbyterian, I had a mascot pop into my head and I didn't know why. And I was like, why would I know this? But then the more I'm thinking about it, I think I watched Presbyterian play Cal in football at some point in like the last 20 years, which is the only reason why I would know this. But I'm feeling pretty strongly that Presbyterian's nickname is the Blue Hose. Not like HOES, but like socks. They're the Blue Hose, like the hose.
So it'd be like the Red Sox, but blue and HOSE.
Yeah, and Blue Hose. Why? But yeah, we checked in with the David of the Presbyterian Blue Hose.
All right, both teams getting points.
Wow.
Done. Taco. UAB Blazers football team coach. Anyone, by the way?
Brent Dilfer.
Yep,
that's right. And the Blue Hose won their first game in the women's tourney this past year over Sacred Heart, and then they got ripped to shreds by South Carolina when the setting went from delicate to heavy duty. All right, so both teams getting points. Moving on to question number 3. Question number 3, Goliath, James Madison, David, William, and Mary.
Josh, I think we're going to check in.
All right. So Nopa America has checked in. El Torito, your chance to talk it out.
Okay, I think we're close. Pretty positive that James Madison's the Dukes. And then God, I think William and Mary, I said to Scott that something Indian adjacent.
Which I said, Cowboys?
But I think it's like it's something, shoot.
So it's one of those like Braves, Chiefs.
Yeah. So I sent over the tribe because saying Indian adjacent made me think of Cleveland, which made me think of the tribe.
I am wearing the hat.
And the more I think about it, that might be right.
I like it too. Yeah, I feel as if I have some knowledge of a team being the tribe.
Yeah.
And maybe I just never placed it with what actual school it was, but it certainly rang a bell for me as a mascot and as a team nickname.
Right.
So if that's in there, I'd say let's just do it.
Okay. We will check in the William and Mary tribe for the David.
All right. Nopa America, what did you guys have?
So Marcus right away knew that James Madison was the Dukes. My kids started this last year. They're freshmen in a brand new high school in Gretna, Nebraska. And Gretna has 2 high schools now, and they're building a third. Their first is called the Dragons, and then they wanted to go with that mythical character. So their second one is called the Griffins. And now they're going to have a mythical character for the third one. So they're going to be called the Guardians. So the Griffins, I remember when that first came out that they referenced that William and Mary were called the Griffins, and I listed a bunch of different people that were called the Griffins, and then William and Mary came in. So that was in the back of my brain, and I was pretty sure that that's what it was. And then Marcus brought up that he thought they were called the Tribe, and then he thought, well, then did they change it from the Tribe to the Griffins because of the connotation with a Native American and removing that or something? So we checked in with the Griffins.
One team receiving points here. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with William and Mary, but it is the Tribe. Yeah. As you said, James Madison, the Dukes. I don't. Yeah, maybe it will be the Griffins in a few years. You never know. And then retroactively, you guys can get some points for this question. But as it goes, and John Stewart might be on the football team. I got to check. No, but apparently Sean McDermott and Mike Tomlin actually both went to William and Mary and played on the Tribe football team. All right. So that brings us to the fourth question in this quarter, the last one. The Goliath, Western Kentucky. The David, Western Illinois.
We'll check in.
All right. Nopa America's checked in. El Torito, you have a little bit time to talk it out.
So, Western Kentucky's the Hilltoppers.
Yes.
And, Big Red is a hill and has a top. So I'm assuming why he exists other than just to be a fever dream. I don't have anything on Western Illinois.
Yeah, I was told a long time ago to choose between East Coast and West Coast in Illinois, and I chose East. So I have no knowledge of West.
There are so many directional Midwest schools that I cannot keep track of.
Yeah.
Like Central Illinois, Southern Illinois, Central Michigan, Eastern,
Western Michigan. Yeah, exactly.
They all run together for me. So I'm fine just going with the Goliath.
Yep, let's do that. We are checking in with the Goliath answer of the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers.
Okay. Nopa America, what did you have?
Yeah, this is, like I said, I'm fairly confident in most mascots at the FBS and FCS levels, and this one was like a immediate get. Western Kentucky is the Hilltopper. Shout out to that weird commercial where Jim Kelly played rock paper scissors with it and it ate his gold jacket. That was a weird one. But we decided to check in with the David, and I believe Western Illinois is the Leathernecks. So that's what we're checking in with.
Both teams receiving points. Nicely done. Yes, the Hilltopper, I believe Marcus actually mentioned it a few episodes ago. And it's Grimace's long lost cousin, and I guess us eating Jim Kelly or whatever. And the Western Illinois Leathernecks, they are the little trivia fact, only non-military school to use a military nickname, as their founding coach was an ex-Marine. There you go.
The Leathernecks is a military term?
It's Marines. You wouldn't know.
Ooh. The Marines are the jarheads. I always thought the Leathernecks were people who worked on like oil rigs.
I mean, they really are America's heroes. So, I mean, there's no difference.
Well, maybe in the this was circa like 1910, 1920s. So that, the nicknames may have changed over time, but their actual mascot looks kind of like a bulldog. I'm not sure if the bulldog has a leather neck or just leather on his neck. I don't know.
His leather neck is a military slang term U.S. for a member of the Marine Corps, generally believed to originate in wearing of a leather stock that would be around their neck. Oh, like the big, huge, collar. Oh, interesting. Okay, cool.
All right. So at the end of the first quarter, Nopa America with a score of 125. El Torito slightly ahead of them at 175.
We wanted to let you know that we are on Patreon if you'd be interested in supporting us financially. Your contributions will be used to help us cover the costs that it takes to bring you the high-quality sports trivia you have come to expect from us. There's also some great perks that come with the Patreon membership to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast, including bonus episodes and Benchwarmers swag. You can find us at patreon.com/benchwarmerstp. Thanks.
That will bring us to the second quarter, which will be Curriculum Mortis.
Curriculum Vitae. In this round, the hosts will list the teams and years for which a player spent time and may also give a few fun facts about each player. Each question is worth 20 points.
So Curriculum Vitae is like accomplishments in your career. In this version, what happens after that career and or your death, to the records that you set during the career. Okay. So basically, I wanted to design a quarter that favored Matt Doherty for once. I'll say at the outset that these are all Hall of Famers and they're old timey in some way or another.
Ooh.
All right. Question number 1 in Curriculum Mortis. Played 24 MLB seasons. The first 22 for one team. Retired in 1928, died 1961. Career games played record broken in 1974 by Hank Aaron. Career hits record broken in 1985 by Pete Rose. Career runs record broken in 2001 by Ricky Henderson. Career batting average record broken in 2024 or 1946 by Josh Gibson.
We'll check in.
El Torito has checked in. Nopa America, you have about 2 minutes to talk it out.
This sounds like Ty Cobb, right?
24 seasons, the first 20 of them.
I can understand why maybe this second team gets left out, because when he played 22 for one.
Yeah.
But that was the thing that I thought I remember seeing, is that Ty Cobb was the leader in average, right? Career average. And then with the integration of the Negro League stats, that Gibson, obviously became the leader in a bunch of categories.
The career hits is what got me. If there was something on here about stolen bases, it would be more clear to me, but yeah, let's go with that. Sure.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to check in with Ty Cobb.
All right. Nopa America's checked in with Ty Cobb. El Torito, what do you got?
Same thing. Yeah, I think he finished his career with the Athletics, maybe.
Oh, really?
I don't remember which team
Were they
it
in
was.
Philadelphia, or they would have been in Philadelphia at the time?
I'm somewhat positive he finished his career with the Philadelphia A's. And yeah, that last bit about Josh Gibson's batting average getting incorporated in and passing him was kind of the cherry on top of that. So we also checked in with Ty Cobb.
Right. Both teams getting points. Indeed. Ty Cobb. See, this is not that hard. I mean, maybe it's a little hard, but yeah, and pretty cool that Josh Gibson breaking the record either in 1946 or 2024, however you want to consider it. And that's exactly right, Taco. He did play his last 2 seasons for the A's.
I'm looking at his baseball reference page here. This is amazing. Listen to this. His OPS in 1925, in his 21st season, his OPS was 1.06. He had a 378 average a 468 on base, and a 598 slugging percentage. Holy crap.
Yeah,
That's
but
pretty amazing.
how many Twitter followers did Ty Cobb have?
True. Good point. That's a great point. Good point. Yeah.
Nerd. that nerd Ty Cobb.
He's got no clout.
He's got no aura. That's what the kids are saying now. He's got zero aura.
Yeah.
He's not him.
Josh Gibson, though, OD.
Right?
Go, dude.
Question number 2. Played 14 NFL seasons for one team. Retired in 1989. Still living. Career receiving yards record broken in 1991 by James Lofton. Career receptions record broken in 1992 by Art Monk. Career TD receptions record broken in 1992 by Jerry Rice. 1,000 plus yard seasons record broken in 1994 by Jerry Rice. Consecutive games with a reception record broken in 94 by Art Monk. Career receptions record broken in 95 by Jerry Rice. And 50 plus catch seasons record broken in 1996 by Jerry Rice.
All right, we're going to check in.
All right, Nopa America checked in. Errol Torito, feel free to talk it out.
Vince Swan.
1989 feels late for him.
It does, but 14, so 75 feels about right for his start. So
yeah,
that part, I don't know that I knew he played that many seasons. It's, those guys tend to tail off at like year 10, and then I'm sure he could have hung around.
Sure.
But the rest of the stuff, I feel like when Jerry Rice started breaking the stuff, I remember that it was a bunch of Lynn Swan's records.
Okay.
That he was breaking.
Oh, what about Steve Largent?
75. Yeah, I guess 75 to 89 would also be the time. I actually thought maybe he played a little bit later than that, but yeah, that time frame I guess would work.
I feel like he's got bigger career stats than Lynn Swan does.
Sure. Yeah, and Josh is a Seahawks fan. Don't ask me how he is, because of where he's from, but he is.
Because he's a good man.
He's a good man. He's him. I like that's a little bit of know your host also.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I actually I like that better. I think because Steve Largent is criminally underrated.
Yeah, and the retired in 1989 is still just like scaring me off Lynn Swan. I don't think he played at that. I don't think he played that late.
Yeah, I like Largent. Actually, I'm glad you brought that up before we pulled the trigger.
Okay, we will check in with Steve Largent.
Okay, El Torito checking in with Steve Largent. Nopa America, what did you guys have?
Oh, Matt, that was agonizing.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just... Because Lynn Swan is... He didn't finish in the top 50 in any major receiving category. So you guys even thinking that he was this good is upsetting in every way. I was like biting my tongue. I was like, Lynn Swan is garbage. He was garbage in everything but the playoffs. In the playoffs, he went off. He is not good.
He played
every scenario other than the playoffs.
Receivers. That's
with
why
every fiber of my personality.
No, his own teammate, John Stallworth, was a million times better than him and was statistically far better than him. I'm sorry. That just came out of nowhere. Sorry. Holy. It was frustrating because I wanted you guys to answer that, but I was like, are you kidding me right now? Lynn Swan.
I'm doing the edit, so all of that's staying in. Every single bit. I'm just gonna spam. I'm gonna spam the whistle. That's all staying in.
Yeah, please.
I'm sorry. I'm glad you're here and you're the one editing. I'm very sorry because I was just about to explode when you guys were like, "Yeah, it's just
never apologize for passion, Marcus."
I knew as soon as you guys were talking about Lynn Swan that Marcus was gonna go off. But also. Scott, when you were talking about how when Jerry Rice was breaking all these records, you always remember them talking about Lynn Swan's records. I was like, I have the same recollection, and I always remember them Steve Largent's records.
Yeah, playoff records, I would imagine.
Yeah, maybe
because he was playing in Super Bowls, not.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, I'm done with this.
Before Josh even got halfway through reading the question, and before it got done, I messaged Marcus with Largent ? Right? It's got to be Largent. And I thought Marcus took like about a half a second longer than me, and he was like, Well, yeah, of course. And C's like, even you didn't want to read it, and I'm like, no, because that's Steve Largent. So
Yeah.
so we also checked in with Steve Largent and an epic rant. Thank you, Marcus.
It's been a long
That
time
was
since I
awesome.
went on one, and thank you, Matt and Scott, for taking that out of me.
Both teams receiving points, and I'm not going to lie. When I knew that Marcus was going to be on this show, that's the question that I added because I wanted that rant. That's what we're here for, right? That's what we're all here for. Yeah, 6 ridiculous records that he held at once. Steve Largent for sure. All right, so question number 3: played 18 NHL seasons for one franchise, retired in 1960, died in 2000. NHL career goals record broken in 1963 by Gordie Howe. NHL single seasons goal record broken in 1965 by Bobby Hull. Career Stanley Cups as a player record broken in 1969 by Jean Beliveau, Henri Pocket Rocket Richard, and Claude Provost.
All right, Josh, we're going to check in.
Okay. Nope, America is checked in. El Torito, talk it out.
There's so many things that I know, and old hockey is the furthest away from all of those things that I know.
Normally my go-to is Gordie Howe or Hull, and they're both in this questions, right? So both of my go-tos are gone. My other go-tos are Gretzky and Orr, and that's it.
I was so sure it was Jean Beliveau until he came up in the last part.
I thought it was in Claude Provolone or Provost.
Hold on. I'm sorry.
Wait, hold on a second. What was the name he just said?
Claude Provolone. Writing it down.
I thought you were saying Jean Valjean.
Oh, well,
who am I?
This question makes me feel like miserable. So yeah. All
right. Okay, let's. The only thing I posted in the chat was maybe this is a person with an award named after him. So should we just think of some hockey awards? And
so Conn Smythe was like the commissioner, right? I think
or did he play? I think so.
Hart.
Yeah, Hart, Art Ross, maybe.
Oh, Art Ross. Yeah, isn't that the points? Is that the points?
Yeah, Art Ross.
That would make sense.
They named a hockey award after Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yep. Yes, they did, because he's the best there was and the best there will be.
I mean, it's the league's best sharpshooter every season.
Yep.
Right?
Hey.
Yeah, I actually like Art Ross because Vezina's not going to make sense. That's a goalie award. Yeah, let's go Art Ross. I like that.
All right, checking in Art Ross.
All right, El Torito's checking in with Art Ross. What do you have, Nopa America?
I think you put Henry Pocket Rocket Richard because you omitted Maurice Rocket Richard, and I think Gordie Howe beat Rocket Richard Maurice in 1963 for the goals. So that's what we checked in with, was Maurice Rocket Richard.
One team getting points. Rocket Richard is correct. Maurice Rocket Richard absolutely had all of those records. Yeah, and his brother outdid him in Stanley Cups. He was 5'7", 160, so apparently he was called Pocket Rocket, which means a different thing in a lot of places. So, yeah, let's move on. Question number 4, before we get any worse. Played 15 NBA seasons for one franchise, winning one NBA championship before the team moved. Retired in 1964, died in 2015. NBA career rebounds record broken in 1962 by Bill Russell. NBA career scoring record broken in 1963 by Bob Pettit. NBA career personal fouls record broken in 1970 by Hal Greer. His son played 18 NBA seasons for 7 NBA franchises from 1981 to 99, and both father and son are in the National Jewish Sports Hall of Fame.
We're going to check in.
Oof. El Torito has checked in. Nopa America. Have fun talking it out for a little bit less than a minute.
I'm trying to think of like Nepo babies. That old 81 to 99 is... I feel like I should know that, but
for his son. That's the name that I think I should know also.
Right, but I just can't pull it. The only one that I know, because we did a question on it at some point, is I'm pretty sure Dolph Shays is in the Jewish Sports Hall of Fame, but I feel like I would have known if Dolph Shays had a
father that was
Randy Shays.
It was a Hall of Famer.
All right, I'm going to need an answer.
Okay, we need to have an answer. What do you want to go?
I have zero clue. I mean, we were on Mikan for the first, until he got to those last 2 lines. We were George Mikan.
All right. So Dolph Shays then?
Sure.
And okay, we'll check in with Dolph Shays.
Nopa America has checked in with Dolph Shays. El Torito, what do you have?
We were also on George Mikan for a while and then quickly got off of him. I did say Dolph Shays was an old basketball guy. Scott confirms that he sounds Jewish, which was pretty good. And then we spent a little bit of time thinking about his son, and the name Danny Shays seemed to ring a bell. So we also checked in with Dolph Shays.
Nicely done. Both teams getting points. The answer is Dolph Shays. Absolutely right. Danny Shays, his son, played for 18 years in the NBA, believe it or not.
Never heard of that
Are
person
you
before.
telling me that I just made up Randy Shays and it was almost
It was really close.
Pretty
his
damn close.
actual son?
That's awesome.
That brings us to the end of the second quarter, and our scores are Nopa America with 225 and El Torito with 250.
That was one of the most unhinged quarters.
It's incredible.
Randy Shays.
Randy Shea sounds like he works on a paint store.
That will bring us to halftime.
It is now time for the halftime show. There will be 3 entertainment questions. Each question is worth 25 points.
So for today's halftime, I'm a big fan of the Ocho. I don't know about all of you, but August 8th, Ocho Day on ESPN. So this halftime is Ocho or Stinko. I'm going to describe an obscure sport. All you have to do is tell me if it's a sport that's been featured on ESPN the Ocho Day. That would be Ocho. Or I made it up with the help of ChatGPT, and that would be Stinko. Ocho Stinko. Got it? All right. Question number 1. Excel World Championship. For every spreadsheet wizard in the office out there, this is the sport for you. Featuring a knockout-style bracket, the Excel Championships pit the best of the best on Microsoft's staple work program against each other, each vying to be the quickest to complete a variety of Excel-related tasks.
We're going to check in, Josh.
Nopa America is checked in. El Torito, talk it out.
Okay, competitive spreadsheets definitely exist. I don't know for sure that it's been featured on the Ocho, but it's a real thing. So,
Yeah. Yeah, sure. That's fine.
yeah, we'll check in with Ocho.
El Torito checking in with Ocho. Nopa America, what did you have?
Yeah, I know this is a real thing. I don't know if it was on the Ocho, but I know it's a real thing. So Marcus and I both said yes, real thing.
Both teams getting points. Yeah, it's a real thing. I don't know why, but it's a thing.
Because guys in the office have to have fun too, Josh.
Okay. All right. That brings us to question number 2. Question number 2, sloth scurry. How fast can you go slow? Picture a jungle-type course with a series of obstacles that have teams of 4 have to tackle together, such as climbing walls, crossing narrow beams, and traversing monkey bars. The catch? Players must mimic the slow and deliberate movements of sloths while navigating the course. Teams are penalized for falling off obstacles, taking too long to complete a section, or deviating from the sloth-like movement.
Sloth scurry. I love it. It sounds like it's Dell's third son. It's Step 7 sloth.
Sloths.
Scurry.
Sloths curry.
Scurry.
Sloths curry.
He's 100% from the field if he can get the shot off.
There you
Yeah.
go.
There you go.
Well, I mean, Kyle Anderson just signed with the Warriors today, so he's going to go by Sloths Curry for his entire tenure in Golden State. I'm telling you that right now.
And if he even, yeah, he is now.
We can check in.
All right. Nopa America has checked in. El Torito, once again, talk it out.
I was thinking for like this is Ocho for a while until it got to teams are penalized for taking too long because it seems like that's the whole point is to take long. So why, like,
Yeah,
why would you be penalized?
I went a little like game theory with it, and I've heard enough of Josh Bombach's ChatGPT halftimes that this kind of feels like AI wrote it, or
Yeah.
at least helped write it.
Not Allen Iverson
So, no,
because it didn't mention
No.
practice.
no, not once.
Yeah, no.
This is not talking about practice. Yeah, I would say I would lean fake on this one.
Yeah, I'm good with that too. Like I said, it at first I was like, it's so ridiculous. It's probably a real thing, but yeah, I feel like as it went on, it seems less and less likely. So, all right, Josh, we're gonna check in with Stinko.
Nopa America, what did you guys have?
I think we were both on the same page. We both at the same time kind of said, I think this is made up. And I agree with Matt. It's like you've seen enough of ChatGPT where it's like over explaining maybe a little bit, or just the way that the sentences are structured. So we also checked in with Stinko.
Both teams getting points there. That is absolutely a Stinko. Okay, question number 3, tech ball. Picture a fusion of soccer and table tennis. That, in essence, is tech ball. Featuring a specially curved table, the sport can be played both 1-on-1 or 2-on-2 and involves players rallying a soccer ball back and forth over a net using any part of their bodies but their hands and arms.
Josh, we can check in.
Oof. Immediate check-in from Nopa America. El Torito, talk it out.
I've seen video of this. I'm 100% positive it's a real thing. It's awesome.
I've not seen video. I've heard of it. It's when I saw how it was spelled once he sent it, I was like, oh yeah, I've definitely heard of that before. So
yeah.
Good
All
with
right,
that.
we'll check in Ocho.
All right, checking in Ocho, Nopa America. What did you have?
Yeah, this is real. I've seen this before. There's some every so often, it seems like once or twice a year on like TikTok or YouTube, some sort of crazy rally from this sport comes up, and so yeah. So
the loser should drink tequila, and then it could really be tech ball.
There you go.
Great sponsorship. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts. Like it's with their heads and like they're kicking this thing across the table. I have no idea how it works, but it does work. And yeah. Anyway, some of the other ones we didn't include in this halftime, Stein holding. There's a lot of great ones. Just watch the Ocho. So that brings us to the end of halftime. And the scores are still pretty damn close. So we've got Nopa America with 300 and just ahead of them, El Torito with 325. That will bring us to the third quarter, which will be the missing link.
The missing link. This quarter will consist of 5 questions with theme-linked answers. The teams will attempt to answer the questions and guess the theme. Each question is worth 20 points. If a team checks in first via chat to the host with the correct theme before the 5th question, they will earn 100 points. The other team can still earn 50 points with the correct theme guess. If neither team has checked in with the correct theme before the 5th question, each team can earn 50 points with the correct answer to the theme after the 5th question.
First question in the missing link. This is an unofficial term for a football play that gains more yardage than an average run or a short pass, which would be under 10 yards, but less than an explosive play that would be 40 plus yards. Contrary to popular belief, you don't need to do the truffle shuffle to gain this kind of yardage.
We'll check in.
El Torito has checked in. Nopa America, feel free to talk it out.
Oh, sorry. I was eating it, and then I read the question. This is a chunk play.
Chunk play. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we will check in with chunk play.
And El Torito, what do you have?
Same thing, a chunk play.
All right. Everybody starting off with points. It is indeed a chunk play. All right. So the first question in our missing link, the answer is chunk or chunk play. All right. I'll pause just for a moment in case anybody wants to set some sort of land speed record on the missing link. All right. Moving on. Everybody's good. To question number 2. Question number 2. This female wrestling promotion was founded in 2000 and ran 24 pay-per-view episodes in its first year. It was revived in 2013. The only official rosters that returned to the promotion were Delta Lotta Payne, Jade, Jungle Girl, Lana Star, Loca, Paradise, Riot, Selena Majors, and Thug. The promotion is still currently active and is the 3rd highest rated wrestling television show outside of WWE and AEW.
Just Josh going, girl.
Yeah, it was Jungle Girl.
I'm trying, man.
Oh,
that one got me.
That was so good.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't quite get the, like, girl. Yeah, anyway.
You good with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll check in.
All right. Nopa America has checked in. El Torito, feel free to talk it out.
I think it's just women of wrestling. Or wow.
Just wow.
I think.
I
I
used
feel
to
like
go
I,
to a website called wow.com. It was women of wrestling, but it had nothing to do with the wrestling.
You just
Just-
unlocked like a core memory.
Bro, right? Trish Stratus. I mean, that's certainly a thing.
Mhm.
Like
and I think it is on television, though not very easy
it
to
is.
find.
It is. Yeah. No, it is on television. That's true. Yeah, and especially in 2000, that makes sense.
Hmm.
I don't know that I knew it was ever gone and needed to be revived, but sure. That also wouldn't surprise me with the state of women's wrestling in like the mid 2000s.
Right.
So reviving it around 2013 also would make sense, I guess. So yeah, I mean, I'm good with that.
Okay. We'll check in with WOW or Women of Wrestling.
Nope, America, what did you guys have?
Yeah, this is when I stopped watching WWE in like the early aughts, I decided to dive into indie wrestling, and when you do that, you find a lot of promotions, and one of them was absolutely Women of Wrestling or WOW. So that's what we also checked in with.
All right, both teams getting points. The answer is WOW, Women of Wrestling, indeed. So, after 2 questions in our missing link round, our answers are Chunk Plays and WOW, Women of Wrestling.
Wow.
And WOW.
Wow. Well, you know, it's women, they wrestle. Wow.
All right, I'll pause here for a second. Okay, simple question here. What is the most number of points Michael Jordan scored in a game during his career?
Josh, we'll check it.
All right. El Torito has checked in. Nopa America, feel free to talk it out.
I know he scored 63 in that Celtics playoff game when he was pretty young. And like you said, I think he had a 66 game. And honestly, I know you said you may as well go with 69, but I also think he possibly has a 69 game too. But did he go over that is what I'm curious of.
Sorry, I had a kid walk in the door. So,
Well, hopefully one of yours, not a
yeah,
random.
not a random
Just a-
kid. Yeah.
Just a stray
Mason walked in.
feral child.
I only remember that because now you bring it up. That 69, I think, game was against Cleveland or something like that.
Yeah, that's making more sense.
I
mean, I can't think of. I honestly, I'm just trying to like in my head go back and think about a Michael Jordan. I don't think I ever remember him being over 70 because, like, obviously, Wilt has his 100, Kobe has his 81. I know Devin Booker had some ungodly number when they were losing by 45 points. I freaking hate that guy.
let's just. I mean, I still have zero clue on what the
69
team is, but
should we just go with it?
might as well. Sassy.
Oh, we're gonna check in with 69 points.
Okay. El Torito, what do you have?
I've looked at that 70-point NBA list enough, I feel like, to know that Jordan's not on it. And what's the next best thing that's less than 70? We also checked in with 69 points.
Nice.
Both teams getting points here. Nicely done.
Nice.
Horny for the win.
So, after 3 questions, our missing link answers are Chunk Plays, WOW, Women of Wrestling, and 69 points. Pause here for a moment.
I think this just has to be called the horny episode.
Oh,
We good to move on here?
that's
Okay.
your decision, Josh.
It is mine, and I will decide to move on. Question number 4. Rawlings, the official baseball manufacturer for the MLB, estimates that between balls used in the regular season, playoffs, spring training, and practices, it produces about 900,000 official baseballs for MLB each year. About how many would that be over a 9-year period, rounded to the nearest million? Yes, you have to do math.
Ew.
I think we got it.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
All right.
We will check in.
All right. Tripping you up with math. El Torito checking in. Nopa America, feel free to talk it out.
So it's just 900,000 times 9 years times 9, which is 8.1 million, which would be 8 million. So then is the answer just 8 million? Okay. I got a shirt from Marcus while he's eating. So we're going to say 8 million.
All right. El Torito, what did you have?
I get paid to teach multiplication and rounding, and I still had way too much stress over this question. But just like, am I missing anything? We also checked in with 8 million.
Yeah, that's about 8 million balls, people.
This was the easiest, most complicated question we ever had.
Yeah,
You made it
seriously.
way hard. You made it way harder. Damn, I did it again. Okay, you made it way harder than it needed to be. Yeah, the answer, both teams getting points. It is 8 million balls. Sorry about that. I have a stepson who does all these math questions for fun over the summer. So that's what that got me. All right. Pausing here. Yes. Okay. I think I have where we're going here. And then we are up to question number 5. Question number 5, the following. This NFL stadium was built in 1972. Its successor is currently being built across the street and will inherit its current name. It is the only NFL stadium named for a healthcare company.
We'll check in.
All right. Nopa America, after much deliberation, has checked in. El Torito, chalk it out.
We are struggling. I'm in this question. Now I'm realizing there's like at least a dozen stadiums that I don't know the name of. Just
Yeah. I mean, it's like, the big ones, obviously.
Yeah.
So to me, this is a more obscure.
Yeah. The closest we've got is wondering if Gillette counts as healthcare.
Like you gotta
men's grooming is important.
Well, there's also there's a kids hospital called Gillette. They're all over the country.
It's also healthcare.
Yeah.
They're talking it out. Briefly.
Sheesh. I don't have anything other than that.
And we need the stadium name, not even the team. So
right. So even if we threw, yeah. So
all right. So let's just name a healthcare company. Anthem, right, is one big one. Blue Shield, Anthem. Like
I'd go with Anthem. Sure.
All right, we're gonna check in with Anthem.
All right. Nopa America, what do you got?
Oh, hold on a second. I didn't know. We need
the stadium name.
Oh, we need the X. Okay, so I remember in the playoffs last year, talking about how Arrowhead Stadium has some sort of healthcare company, like GBMA or something like that. I've never heard of before. And the only reason I thought of it is because my AFL team's they play at GMHBA Stadium, and I thought that's kind of weird too. So I have no idea what the name of that healthcare system is, but I know that the name of the stadium is called Arrowhead Stadium. So, but I was even more confounded by that because I didn't think that they were actually, I know that they were looking to replace Arrowhead Stadium, but I didn't know they're actually building it. So, I don't know.
They are. I think Walling's mentioned that. Now that
okay,
I'm thinking about it.
All right, so we checked in with Arrowhead Stadium.
Ooh.
Or should we go with, I have no idea if this is right, GEMBA, GMAB? I don't know.
What is happening?
I don't really know.
Matt's having a stroke and he's relearning.
Yeah, let's go ahead, Josh.
I think he's on some GBMC. I don't even know what it is.
He's giving me the heebie-jeebies.
I think of GEH Geha Field. Is that what that is at Arrowhead Stadium? That's not.
Geha,
that's not it either. And by the way, I think they're bidding out to the whole question about whether they're going to move across to the state line to Kansas or something like that from Missouri.
Well, the state line actually is like literally across the street. It's right. They're right on the street. It's so.
But that ain't it. Neither team getting points on this one. The answer, everybody, and Scott, I mean, you're from this area. I'm a little bit, The answer in Buffalo, New York, is Highmark Stadium.
Well, we wouldn't have got it right anyway, Marcus, because we didn't know.
Oh, I know. I knew if you could tell me the name of it, we would have gotten it right, because I know the Bills are getting a new stadium built. I just couldn't name it. I have no idea.
So after 5 questions in our missing link round, the answers are Chunk Plays. Wow. 69 points. About 8 million balls. And Highmark.
Nice.
One team answered after question number 3. The other team answered after question number 4. So I'm going to give this to Nopa America, who came up with the right answer after question number 3, please.
Yeah, it is it is catchphrases or phrases that we say on Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast.
Indeed. The most insider of insider missing links one could have. So, yeah, as I would say, Benchwarmers shtick, inside jokes, absolutely right. And the other team got it right as well, just one question later. And so that brings us...
Wait, Josh, can you go through them for the listeners?
Yep.
And for me, because I was lost.
So the first one, Chunk Plays, as in chicken chunks.
Oh,
yeah, that's Ede's most recent thing. That's chicken
Costco.
chunks thing, yeah.
The second one, as well demonstrated on this, wow.
P. Weber, wow.
Got that one.
Number 3, as always wagered in the fourth quarter, 69 points. Number 4, as the prior ad back in the day, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this anymore, but for Manscaping, that's about 8 million balls.
Wow, that I didn't even. Matt got there because Matt was like, "Oh yeah," because of the math stuff.
Yeah, I thought you had us doing math because of Mason and Josh. I was sitting there going,
okay.
I had to work in 8 million balls, 4 million men a year.
8 million
That's
balls.
about 8 million.
Yeah.
I've listened to that so many times.
Okay.
Had to work that in there somewhere.
That's good. That's good.
I think I only listened to it the one time I created the commercial, and that was the only time I ever listened to it.
And then what's the fifth one, Josh?
And finally, the tribute to patron number 1 on your list in your hearts all time. Highmark Grenier.
I don't know why we don't make it like Tommy Wiseau in the room and
You
go,
do,
"Hi,
actually.
Mom.
Hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
Bye, doggy.
Question is, are you doing Tommy
You're my
Wiseau
favorite customer.
or are you doing James Franco, doing him in the disaster? Question.
Man.
Oh, you're not doing James Franco because you're of age.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Stay down.
And it's probably
Stay
a minor.
I got uncanceled because I
They
ranked on
not
something
like
else
us.
that got canceled.
Yeah.
But see what I did there? I took the heat off me.
Well done. Well, I'm not really sure if it's well done, but either way, we're getting here to the fourth quarter, and we have a lead change, I believe, with 475 points. El Torito, and slightly ahead of them going to the fourth quarter, Nopa America with 500. That brings us to the fourth quarter.
The fourth quarter, known as Put Your Fours Up. This quarter consists of 4 categorized questions that teams will wager up to 100 points each, not to exceed their current point total.
So everybody, here are the categories for the fourth quarter, and you can place your wagers based on these. My kid did a Shakespeare Bachelorette spoof in her drama class, which got all these stuck in my head. So I'm going to class up this podcast while I'm flipping the script. These are all Shakespeare quotes that have absolutely nothing to do with the questions. Just they're quotes. A rose by any other name. That's NFL. All that glitters isn't gold. international competitions. Though this be madness, yet there is method in it. That's basketball. And question number 4, this above all, to thine own self be true, in uniform coincidences. It is now time for the teams to place their wagers.
We'd like to take a minute to invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at BenchwarmersTP. We also have a Facebook group for fans of the pod called The Bench. Join us there to comment on the latest episodes and share cool sports facts and trivia. If you'd be willing to rate and review us on iTunes or Stitcher, we'd greatly appreciate the support so that other people may find this podcast. Thanks.
Now that the wagers are in, on to the questions. Question number 1, a rose by any other name, and this is in the NFL. 2 NFL teams have nicknames other current NFL teams used to use. And both teams that currently use the retread names play in the same division. Name them and the names of the current teams who used to have those nicknames early on in their history. All 4 teams actually play in the same conference.
Draft rejected.
All right, El Torito has checked in.
Oh,
Nope, America, talk it out.
Okay, so the Jets used to be the Titans, and then the Titans are now the Titans. So the Jets and the Titans are one.
Mm-hmm.
And the Houston Texans, and then the Dallas Texans became the Chiefs. So the 4 teams he's looking for are the Jets, the Titans, the Chiefs, and the Texans, right? They're all AFC.
I think so.
And the 2 that changed are the ones that they're both in the AFC South.
Yeah, because the remember when the Jets were those awful throwbacks? So they're like
Yes,
dark blue and yellow. Those were the
Mhm.
New York Titans. So I think that's right.
So is not to that's what we're looking for here, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So we're going to check in, Josh, with the Jets, the Titans, the Chiefs, and the Texans
And what did you guys wager?
for 100.
El Torito, what did you have?
I don't know. I kind of like that better, but I'm all confused about how the question was played out. But we went with the Colts. I mean, the Baltimore Colts and now the Baltimore Ravens, and the New York Jets were the Titans. So the retread names are the Titans and the Colts. And you said the retreads are in the same division. So that would be Titans and Colts. And then the teams that are using them now would be the Jets and the Ravens that are using different names. So we went with Colts, Jets, Ravens, Titans.
And what did you guys wager?
100
points.
All right, 1 team getting points here. Yeah, as Nope America said, the Tennessee Titans used the old name the first season of the New York Jets. They were the New York Titans. And the Kansas City Chiefs early on in their incarnation were the Dallas Texans. The Texans name got used by the Houston Texans. The Colts kept that name all the way through, becoming the Indianapolis Colts. All right. So that's 100 for Nopa America, and unfortunately not for El Torito.
Sorry, Taco. I should have thought that through more.
No. I see what we did here. We got our division and conference and whatever crossed up.
All right. So moving on to question number 2. All that glitters isn't gold. In the 2012 Amir of Kuwait International Shooting Grand Prix, which I'm sure you all watched, the female champion got up to receive her gold medal and was greeted by a song that was definitely not her national anthem playing on the PA. She stood with her hand on her heart as a song from a comedic movie proclaimed that her country invented toffee and trouser belt, and that its filtration system was a marvel to behold. It removed 80% of human solid waste. Eventually, the organizers realized their error and reran the ceremony with the right song. What country did this champion represent?
We'll check in.
El Torito has checked in. Nopa America, feel free to talk it out.
Does this have to be Borat?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a comedic movie. Everybody everybody based their thought of Kazakhstan off of this movie. So imagine my delight anytime a Kazakhstan fighter comes up in the UFC, and I immediately want to bet on them. Yeah, that makes sense.
All right,
I'm
we're
good
going
with
to check
that.
in with Kazakhstan for 76 points.
All right, 76 points for Nopa America. Checking in. And El Torito, what did you have?
We checked in the glorious nation of Kazakhstan for 100 points.
All right, both teams getting their points. Indeed, it was Kazakhstan. You can just see the video, the woman just holding back her laughter while hearing the whole Borat song from the end of the movie, which is just, I'm not going to repeat the lyrics. We've already had enough this evening, but they're great. Okay, so that will bring us to question number 3. Though this be madness, yet there is method in it in basketball. What is the lowest number seed to make a Final Four? This seed has advanced to 6 Final Fours. You have to give the seed and one of the 6 different teams that represented that seed in the Final Four. You don't have to give the year, just the team.
We will check in.
Ah, boo.
El Torito checking in. Nope, America, talk it out.
So I think you're right, because originally I was thinking it was the lowest seed to win.
Oh, yeah. No,
And
this
it's
is
lowest
just
seed
the
to
Final
make
Four.
the Final Four.
I mean, they might have been an 11, but for some reason, it's George Mason that sticks out to me as the one, the most prominent one. I thought they were 12, but man, 11 seems more likely. Was NC State an 11 this year?
I don't know. I do remember that when that Loyola in Chicago, Loyola was
Oh
it just
yeah,
called
Loyola Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah, they were an 11 seed. I remember
Sister
that.
Jean.
Yeah.
She's still alive, right? She's like 108 right now.
Still kicking.
Not anymore.
Not anymore now that you mentioned her.
Oh
Seriously.
no, you're right. That
Eid,
was oh
cut this
no.
out. Eid, cut it out.
Oh
Cut
no. That was like
Oh.
me pitching a ball to myself. That was bad. I'm sorry. She's gonna keep going. It's totally fine. Dang it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you might be right. 11 might be it.
Okay, so we're gonna go with 11, and we're gonna go with George Mason or with Loyola. I'm like,
Well,
like,
wait a minute.
I'm like 80%.
It's just we just need the number. We don't
But
need
he wants
No,
one
you need
team.
one of the teams. The number of
Oh.
the teams.
either. I mean, either.
Let's go with
11
and George Mason.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Nopa America taking him with 11 and George Mason. El Torito, what did you have?
We also discussed Loyola Chicago, but we felt more sure about George Mason, so we also checked in with George Mason as an 11 seed for 100 points.
All right. Well, both teams getting points. Indeed, it is an 11. And George Mason is one of the 6. 1986 LSU, 2006 George Mason, 2011 VCU, 2018 Loyola Chicago, the Ramblers, 2021 UCLA, and just this past year NC State, as mentioned. So most of these teams were mentioned by all of you. Yeah. So
Big
that
old DJ Burns.
yeah. All right. So that will bring us to our final question of tonight, which is this above all to thine own self be true in uniform coincidences. UniWatch, one of my favorite sites, by the way. UniWatch recently reported that the Buffalo Bills signed one of their own, undrafted offensive lineman Keaton Bills. Thanks to the word mark on the front of their jersey, Keaton will be joined a very small club of pro athletes in the Big Four sports who wore their last name on the back and the front of the same jersey at the highest level, as his jersey will say Bills on the back and Bills on the front. What NBA Hall of Famer also participated in this club, though he only did so once a year for the last 14 years of his 15-year career?
Oh, boy.
Oh,
Boy.
Hey, Josh.
Mhm.
We're for the not the penultimate, but what's the ultimate? Right? Is that penultimate would have been the last one?
I
Right.
forgot about that.
We forgot about
mishap.
that. Yeah.
Ultimate, yeah.
The ultimate. We're checking in.
All right. Nopa America has checked in. El Torito, feel free to talk it out.
Okay. The once a year thing is
Yeah.
a nice little wrinkle and piece of writing. So it's got to be the All-Star game. And
Yeah.
who are the two teams in the All-Star game? East and West. So I can't think of anybody with the last name East, but Jerry West seems to fit.
Yeah, I mean, I think depending on the year and the jersey, their last name could also be All or Star, because sometimes they also have those words on the jersey. But they're
Right.
also not Hall of Famers in the NBA. So
Right.
I think we go with the logo.
We will check in Jerry West for 100 points.
All right, El Torito checking in with Jerry West. Nopa America, what did you have?
Well, we checked in with Billy All-Star. No, also with Jerry West for 100 points.
Checking in with Smash Mouth. No, sorry, Jerry West for 100 points. Both teams indeed getting their points. The late, great Jerry West. Yeah, this was featured on the Goonie Watch site that showed West on the back and the front. And that brings us to the end of our game this evening. Coming in with a very respectable 675 points, El Torito. But tonight's clipboard cap. Oh my God, I forgot to come up with a clipboard cap.
How many times do we get to the end of the episode?
Give me a second here. Who did we have?
I got a great one for you, because I know
All
he
right.
didn't play much.
All right.
Danny Shays.
Yeah, Danny Shays.
Oh man,
Or Randy, whatever.
Randy.
Steve Berline, Bubby Brister,
Cheese Cummings.
Okay, I don't know why this one's coming up.
Cheese
for me.
Cummings,
Cheese. It's all okay. With a very a lot of misspelled names, but finally he's crossed out and written John Forcade, Clipboard Captain Award. Just check out your Tecmo Super Bowl from 1991. That would be Nopa America with 876 points.
Awesome.
Well done.
Yay. All right. So, well, thanks, Josh, for coming on and writing this game. Just a reminder, anyone out there that wants to write a game, or even if you have parts of a game written or in your brain and you want to start writing it down, reach out to one of us here on the bench and let us know. We'll send you the template. You can go ahead and start tinkering with it. And then if you want to work with one of us, and oftentimes you'll hear on episodes, Scott and David and others talk about how they have like a whole back catalog of questions they haven't asked in games. So if you have even like a glimmer or like just a hint of an idea for a game, reach out to one of us and we'll start working on a game with you so you can host it. We love having hosts on. That just means one less thing that we have to do. So as you guys can tell, I host about once a year or so because I'm bad. I'm not good. So yeah. Awesome. All right.
Yeah.
So thanks again, Josh, for coming on and doing this. We'll hear from you in just a second. Marcus, Scott, Taco, anything before we hand it over to Josh to tell him about how awesome he is? Or we can do that now. Let's do that now.
I was just going to ask Josh, do you have any other examples of players who have the jersey on the front and the back? Because that's got to be a really small list.
Yeah, you said there were other ones, right?
This goes with a minor league one. That's why I didn't say at the highest level, but apparently Curtis Pride wore his jersey for the Nashua Pride.
Okay.
And minor league baseball. That's the only other one I saw mentioned in the article. But,
I know there's a baseball prospect, Dylan Beavers, and I wonder if I don't think he went to any
Oregon
college. Well, I mean,
right?
Yeah, maybe there's another one out there, but I guess that's a one that could possibly have it. There probably aren't too many chances for that.
Yeah, the only other one that obviously you might think about now is, and this would be kind of disqualified, would be Brown and the Browns. But it's
Sure.
Nobody's last name is Browns. So
yeah.
Unless you're in like a Key and Peele skit.
Exactly.
They put an S on there. So.
All right. Well, thanks, Josh. Appreciate you coming on, but we can't wrap this game up until we have the tagline. So why don't you go ahead and give us that, please?
All right. On behalf of Matt, Marcus, Matt, Scott, and myself, we'd like to say thanks for listening to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. And until next time, we'll keep the bench warm.
That ball hit high and deep. Stretch! Get on back there. They look up. You can put it on the board. Yes!
Into deep left center for Mitchell. And we'll see you tomorrow night.
That great music you're listening to is by Justin Nozick. Thanks to him for producing that music for us. You've been listening to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. Make sure to check us out on all of our social media. We are at Benchwarmers TP.
Wow.
Where's the stop recording thing?
Oh, wow.
And
Wow. Oh, and this last one.
It doesn't let you stop until you say check your tape for tape.
I don't know about National Treasure.